Hi, I'm Otto Hansen, co-founder and CEO of Citizn Company. This is our pitch presentation as of March 18th, 2019. So we've all been here before where some company is asking us to sign their terms and conditions, privacy policy, rental agreement, and it's this big joke. We know this because nobody reads these contracts, and for good reason, because nobody has time to read them. The New York Times estimates that it would take the average American 76 working days per year to read the contracts that we sign. And that's assuming we could understand those contracts. So it begs the question, does it really matter that we're running around the world signing contracts that we haven't read and don't understand? Those of us with a legal background would say the answer is a resounding yes. We know that all of us have been negatively affected by the terms in a contract, whether we know it or not. But for the skeptics in the room, let me show a couple of examples from one family's experiences, how they were negatively affected by some terms. First, when Dad went to book the Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas for $70 a night, and realized when he showed up that he'd pay an extra $63 in hidden fees that were buried in the contract. Or Mom, who wasted $70 on auto insurance with Avis because she didn't realize that when she booked that car with her credit card, that she had auto insurance included through her credit card. Or little Johnny, who signed up for a gym subscription and only later realized that he was also automatically subscribed to a paid magazine subscription for a magazine that Johnny does not want to read. And finally, Susie, who, like the rest of us, has had her privacy invaded by countless unscrupulous companies. And the good news is at Citizn Company, we can help. And we do this by giving you simple contract reviews wherever you happen to be. So what does that look like? Well, it starts with us reviewing the world of B2C contracts and then delivering those reviews to you in convenient ways through browser extension, web and mobile applications, and even voice. Here you see a shot of our user interface for the browser extension and mobile applications. Across the top, you've got three major categories of information that we track: general information, privacy information, and what happens if you have a dispute with a company. In the general tab shown here, this is a review for MGM Resorts. You can see that our contract review team has carefully thought through what are the topics that matter most for this contract. And you see those topics across the left. And for privacy, we have a more standardized system for developing what topics matter. It's what type of data does this company collect about me? Who do they share it with? What type of rights do they offer users? Data security practices, and so forth. And the best part about what we're doing at Citizn Company is that we can do it all for free. And I mean really free, not take your data and sell it to third parties free. But why would we do that? Well, one, because it feels good. We're genuinely excited about the possibility of helping the world solve this big problem. But we also think that it's good for business, and we know that people love free stuff. Now, you don't need a survey to tell you that, but we did launch a survey recently and found that 87% of internet using American adults are likely to use our service if it were made available for free. So why is this good for business? Well, take these people. When they're not busy celebrating and partying and enjoying their life and how much better it's been made because of Citizn Company's contract review services, then they're running businesses, or at least someone in their friend or family group is running a business. And it turns out businesses have the same problem that consumers do, which is that they're also signing terms and conditions and privacy policies all the time. But for businesses, it's much higher stakes. We as business owners are the guardians of our customers' data, and we have investors to answer to. So it's not acceptable for us to just click I accept without knowing what we're agreeing to, which is why businesses are currently paying a lot of money to solve this problem. And the good news is we can help businesses too, and we can do it for a fraction of what they're currently spending. So what does that look like? Let's take an example of a B2B service, Amazon Web Services. This is a third-party data hosting platform. And we start with what we call a report. This is an in-depth review broken down by topics. This is kind of a table of contents of what a report might look like. You've got an executive summary with red flags, and then you've got a series of topics that we know matter to business owners. How is risk allocated? What type of warranties are included? But we go further than reports, and we can add optional add-ons like comparative analyses of the competition. So not just what type of warranties does Amazon Web Services offer, but how do those warranties compare to what Google and Microsoft offer with their competitive services? And we can give you contract management tools, like reminders when the term of your contract is expiring so you don't inadvertently get locked into an auto-renewal subscription, or custom browser extensions for your team members who need to track license limits, terms, money terms, and other provisions in a contract. So who would use Citizn for Business? Well, the biggest customer base is probably the CFO or CEO who's tired of spending $1,000 on these contract reviews. Now, we know that it costs $1,000 because some of us on the Citizn company team as corporate attorneys are in the business of doing these reports on an ad hoc basis, and this is what it costs. The IT manager would use this, the one who wants to make sure they're getting the product that does offer the best warranties or service level agreements. The modern lawyer, whether it's outside counsel who wants to help their client save money or in-house counsel who wants to save some time. And finally, the salesperson, right? This is the Amazon Web Services sales rep who can say to his customer now, hey, I know it's a bummer that you have to accept our non-negotiable terms and conditions for this product, but let me help you get comfortable with it by giving you a copy of Citizn Company's review and report on this so that you and your team can get comfortable with what's in it. And really anyone else with a functioning cerebrum. So let's talk about the market opportunity here. We've taken a couple different routes to trying to figure out what our total addressable market is. The first is what we call the small business legal budget approach. Here we looked at stats from the SBA and US Census. We figured out how many small businesses are there in the country that are operating entities. Of those, what's the average revenue? Of that, we made some guesses about legal spend and specifically vendor due diligence legal spend. And that got us to a market opportunity somewhere in the ballpark of $8 billion. We took a different approach where we looked at how many customers does one vendor, Salesforce.com, have? Well, they have 150,000 business customers in the United States. And of those, we guessed, well, how many probably sent the contract to legal for review? We guessed 30%. And what they spent? We guessed $750 per review. That suggests that somewhere in the ballpark of $25 million has been spent reviewing Salesforce's contracts. And if you extrapolate that out, based on what percentage of the total vendor market Salesforce.com represents, you get to a pretty big number. Now, we don't know exactly where we land, but we guess that our total addressable market lives happily somewhere between these two numbers, and we're pretty comfortable with that. For more information on how we came up with these numbers, you can check out our total addressable market tab in our financial projections. How are we going to acquire customers? Well, we start with the consumer-facing product, right? We're giving away a great product to the world. We know there's high demand for this, and we expect to build a nationally recognized brand that way. But we'll also employ best-in-class digital marketing tactics. We'll leverage press because we know what we're doing is inherently press-worthy. We'll pursue a certification model. So think the same ways that Healthgrades and J.D. Powers built nationally recognized brands by certifying certain companies, we can do the same with contracts. And viral marketing and social and other user referral techniques to help encourage people and enable them to share our service with their communities. On our launch team is me. I've got a Juris Doctorate, an MBA, have managed startups before, have worked as a corporate attorney, helping companies solve this problem for years now. Jordan Furdock is leading our engineering team. He is a software developer at Net Results. He's supported by a team of technical advisors. Lizzie Bayless is helping lead our marketing team. She is an ace with 10 plus years in sales and marketing, digital marketing emphasis. And Megan McCullough, who is graduating from DU Law this year, will join us full-time after she takes the bar. She is a total ace with solid grades and a track record of success in her various different career endeavors in the past. On our core advisory board, now these are the advisors that I characterize as core because they are fairly significantly involved on a regular basis with the company. These guys and gals come out to our quarterly retreat. It's a multi-day retreat that we do in Colorado and spend days with us and are generally very available. Peter Fatiano was one of the co-founders of Healthgrades, a company with a very analogous business model and a lot of great insights. Jeff Atik is an outspoken AI and legal tech expert. Yev Mushnik, another legal tech expert and practicing attorney here in Denver. And Simon Bomi, who brings a great legislative background, consumer perspective, and was the founder of Join Magnify. In terms of where we're at, in December 2018, we acquired Join Magnify, Simon's company. We won the Global Legal Hackathon in 2018. This was a hackathon that took place in 40 cities around the world with an expected 600 teams, and we were narrowed down through 3 rounds of competition to the top teams. We were semifinalists in the Denver Startup Week, and we're raising a 250, maybe 300K round right now. We've got 160K signed. And what are we doing with that? Well, that runway should get us through middle to end of Q4. And in terms of the timeline for 2019, we expect to close our friends and family round here by the end of this quarter. We will begin selling B2B reports sometime in the middle of Q2. We'll launch a private beta of our B2C product towards the end of Q2 and a public launch of that product about a quarter later, sometime towards the end of Q3. And at the end of this year, we will raise a $1 to $2 million seed round. We're also applying to accelerators. We're submitting applications to Techstars this week. And across the bottom of the screen, you can see some KPIs that we expect to be tracking and what our projections are for those KPIs this year. Finally, in terms of exit strategy, we're building 2 major asset classes that we think will make us very attractive acquisition targets. The first we've already talked about is a nationally recognized brand associated with legal technology and contract review services. And the second are contract review assets. So we are pioneering in developing tools and systems for systematically reviewing B2C and B2B contracts. And we will employ some of the world's best attorneys to apply those tools and systems to the actual review of thousands of B2B and B2C contracts. Now, the combination of those tools with those reviews, the work product that comes out of it, will be an essential asset for programming machine learning tools to do this work for us. So in the arms race of companies that are spending a lot of money to build tools to automate the review of contracts, we believe that the assets we're developing will be priceless to those companies or potentially to us if we decide to continue to develop the company and build a class of AI and machine learning products down the road. That's it. Thanks for watching.